Hi guys, it's Aaliyah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm coming on today to share a journal that I just finished creating. Now, if you had watched, I don't know how many videos ago, just a couple videos ago, I did an Etsy shop share from ScrappyLollyPaperCo. And from her, I purchased a paper pack. And in the pack, there was so much stuff, actually. There were like tea-dyed pages, there were wallpaper samples, there were some stickers, there was, I mean, everything under the sun. So what I thought in my head is I was going to challenge myself to use, to create a journal using as much of the items from the pack that I can. So this is what I came up with. And I think 97% of the stuff that's in here is from her pack. I did supplement. There are a few sheets from a paper pad that I have, and then a couple sheets from my own stash, just like filler papers and things like that. But the majority did come from her paper pack, and it's awesome. So when I was walking through, like when I opened it on camera, there was this, and I think they're wallpaper samples, but, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, it's textured. Like, can you hear it? It's like, it's a textured thing, like, it's just so cool. And when I first saw this, it reminded me of bark. Like, you know, like, look at this, like a bark of a tree or something. So this is the one I use, well, I originally picked to make a journal with first. And I do still have several of the same size samples. So I'm going to do another journal using her, all the stuff that came in the pack. So on the front, and this actually, let me just show you this. This sticker here, was from her as well. The only thing that was not is this doily underneath, and that came from Bonnie, who's Bonnie and Clive over on YouTube and on Etsy. That's just a vintage doily that I used because I wanted to keep like a brown and green theme, and the doily was perfect to go behind the butterfly to mount on the cover. So I'm super happy the way this cover came out. Then, on the inside, I did something different too. I lined the edges. Let me just show you. See? With this, it's like a fabric ribbon. Really neat. Oh, and this little sticker here. Let me just show you. It says, "Little Things." That came from her as well. So this paper that's here, this is from the paper pad. And so is this. But it's the same type of like browns and greens and stuff that I wanted to incorporate in the journal. So I did use a couple sheets from the paper pad, but they go. So I was fine with that. So here's some like little household plants. And then on the back, we have a bunch of fun, pieces, to do whatever you want with. This came from the paper pad. I cut it out in a tag shape, but you can journal on the back of that. And then this is from my friend Alicia. It's actually a copy of the original that she gave me because I'm not going to give up my originals just yet. So here is some paper that she gave in the kit. This here, and this opens up so there's plenty of journaling room. This came from her. This was from my stash. So like I said, I did add some filler papers. So this is one of them. This is like a vellum sheet, but it was green. So, I had to put it in the journal because green and brown, had to keep with it. This is a little sheet. This is a time sheet, actually, that's also tea-dyed that came from her. Then there's this. It's vintage graph paper. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. This did come from her as well. I'm pretty sure. Yes, this is one of the pages from the paper pack. And so was this. And this is like where you write music on. So then here's another paper pack sheet. And then on this one, I did a side tuck, ran some crocheted lace down there. And then inside we have the guest check. We have, this is from the paper pad. And then here is a coat check ticket. Coat claim, coat check. I'm not sure exactly how you would call it, but there's that. Is this from the paper pack or is this from me? Oh, this actually might have been one of from my stash. And this is hers. This is hers, and I love the way the coloring on this came out. There's also gray in it, and I don't know where the gray came from, but it's so pretty. Really pretty. And again, here's something else that flips out, and this did come from her too. This is one of the filler papers that I added because it's like the craft color, which, you know, went with the theme. And this is my favorite part. I love the crinkly sound of parchment paper when it's been coffee dyed or tea dyed. And this is one of my filler papers. This is vintage graph paper, and it almost feels actually like this. It's very parchment paper feeling, but then it's blank on the back so you can journal. And then here is a piece from the paper pad, and then in here, this also came from the her pack. It's like an invoice, coffee dye or tea dyed, and then you can write on the back of that. And then also we have, this is a little tag that I made, and then another coat check ticket. And these are from her. This actually was one of my vintage graph papers. This one was from her. And this is from her. And these were from me. And then on this, again, you have just some fun bits and pieces to journal on or to play around with. Oops, that fell out. There we go. And then here's the center. And I love all the plants on the bottom. And then, you know, you can journal on the top there. And you know what? It's in the shady part over here. I have to keep remembering that. So again, same types of ephemera that I used inside. I pulled everything from my stash. Just, you know, random, different bits and pieces, just to be a little bit exciting, you know. I use some things that sometimes I don't normally use. I use some things that I forgot that I had, you know, things like that. I like this page too because it was a flip. And then when I cut this down, for some reason, it was going to be a pocket, but look how big it was. And I didn't want, you know, such a deep pocket. So what I did instead is I made the pocket here. And then this kind of just closes over it. But I just like the way that looks. And then there's some crocheted lace there. And then this is definitely a journal for a journaler, because there's so much empty space to write in, to jot your thoughts down, to be creative. And there's some thicker pages too, which is really nice, because with the thicker pages, if you want to, you know, glue down or staple down any pictures or ephemera, the thicker pages are perfect for that. Here's another little pocket. Again, we have a little invoice and then just some random journaling cards or journaling spots. Some more of the music paper. And this was obviously ripped out of a book, but I didn't want to trim this off because I love the way that looks. It's just so raw, you know, and it's just perfect for junk journals because you know, it's all about kind of just recycling, upcycling, putting everything together just to make something beautiful. And here's the front part of the weekly timesheet. And then here has like the days of the week. And you could actually journal on this side too. I mean, of course, this side because it's blank, but, you know, that side could be as well. And now we're just, you know, these are both basically the back sides of all the paper that I showed in the front part. But and again, some just random bits to journal on. This one is glued down to make a pocket. And then here is the back. And this would actually be a nice spot if you wanted to put a picture, like a 4x6 picture or something on there. That'd be really cute. And then the back. But I am absolutely in love with this cover here. It's just so, like, well, first of all, the texture I love. Second, it looks so much like a tree. So I think I actually named this butterfly on a tree because we have the butterfly and it's on the tree. So I was just kind of playing with the words there, but, you know, really incorporating like how much this looks like a tree. I mean, it's super, super cool. So that is it. And I'm so excited that I was able to challenge myself to use 90% of what she sent me. And then, of course, fill it in with a little bit of what I needed. But it made a whole journal. And that is just like super awesome. And I think she has one more of those paper packs in her shop. I'll definitely leave the link below in the description box if you want to check it out too. But it is definitely for somebody who's starting out. As you can see, you can make a whole journal with what's in that pack. You can actually make multiple journals because, let me just show you. I have put bunches of this, like, this is all the stuff still I haven't used. I mean, there's tons and tons of stuff that you sent. And this is, and there's also the tea-dyed papers. I didn't even, you know, those aren't in there because they're a little bit bigger than the box. So those are set aside as well. But also, if you're interested, this will be available in my Etsy shop. I'll also leave the link to the journal as well below. Oh, and a quick measurement. It's pretty much almost like the Traveler's Notebook size. It's 5 inches across and 8 inches up and down. So it's a little bit shorter and a little bit wider. But, I mean, as for a standalone journal, I think that it is, it's perfect, you know? Oops, did I just hit the camera? Sorry. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of this journal. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.